Hello Pisces, this is Ron from Terror of the Twin Sun. Hello, welcome to my channel Terror of the Twin Sun. Switching it up today, we're doing an aerial view of the Great Mirror, and I think it's better this way because we can actually see from the cards, influences between you and someone else. So this is a situationship reading, mid-January 2020, and this is Ron from Terror of the Twin Sun. Welcome. Yeah, I'll be working from the 1890 deck, the Aliette deck from the French school. This is a deck that's about 130 years old, so please enjoy. I'll go ahead and start shuffling the cards and clear the energy of the deck, and we'll go ahead and build an uncard spread after a small reshuffle for this relationship reading. The energies between you and someone else, and the great mirror that exists between you two. Okay, so this is our small pre-reading. So far we have judgment here. Something from the past trying to re-emerge in the present. Something that you've buried that is now being revived in a certain way. And this judgment has to deal with prosperity. Something about the judgment of a righteous structure. We have here the square. It's a human structure that is created for foundations. And the foundations of some sort of 11-11 situation, some sort of soul energy, some sort of union between you and someone else that is societally driven, that is based on structures and that is based on harmony. Okay? So something that once gave you harmony, that was once a gateway into something beautiful, that helped you to live out certain things about your own humanity, is now being resurfaced, okay, from the past. This is an act of, ooh, wow. Okay, we have marriage here, as well as economy, which is the four of swords in the reverse, as well as the lovers, gliamanti or marriage, or this could also be the hierophant. So there's an element of communion, a lot of communion with the soulmate, and there's something that you are now no longer being restless about. You found the energy to move on. You found the energy to move on, and you've used the right discernment with this connection that was once very much meaningful to you. It's a very deep connection, but also there's a mirroring here. With the lovers comes the force majeure, which is the devil's energy, and there is a type of connection that is very much lovely, but also based on base desires, okay? So there is something very much in the cards here that has to do with the strong connection from the past that once gave you a great deal of harmony, as well as a great deal of stress. And now there's a cycle of disconnect, of some sort of escapism, or perhaps an element of the Six of Cups energy, or the Seven of Cups rather, which is confusion. The Seven of Cups is la pensée, which is confusion, some sort of dark night of the soul, but not so much. It's more like you don't know which cup to choose from, my dear Pisces. And it seems to me that you're totally rejecting this thing from the past because it was too toxic for you, or perhaps the commitment was binding, but also didn't stand up to your higher principles in terms of what you were trying to achieve in society. Okay, that is what I'm saying. But I see it mostly as a force majeure, which is that devil's energy, where it's like the commitment that you had with this person was a bit too toxic, and you had to let it go. You want it to somehow it's being manifested back into your life. This person may be trying to get back in, but I'm not sure if we're willing to let them back. That's what I'm saying. The pre-shuffle. Okay, just a bit more. Okay, this deck is ready. I'll cut it. Okay, we have Pua Paleo, which is the Seven of Rods. There is an element of a need to find parley, to find some sort of ceasefire, or some sort of obstacle, like an obstacle that is needing to be surrendered. There's generally in the month of January, mid January 2020 for you, my dear Pisces, there's an element of a ceasefire or a truce. Something has to stop. It's like an obstacle between you and this person. Okay. Okay, let's slow down a bit. Okay, it's becoming clear now. It's becoming clear now. Yeah, you may be dealing with someone who is manipulative in a certain way with your emotions. You've had to cut this person out, and consciously that's what you're doing with Foe here. But this act of cutting out is a bit artificial. It's like you can't really cut out the connection yet, but it's still there. So it's still like an etheric cord that's tying you to this person. But you've made a choice, and you've made a choice, and you are portraying at least some sort of confidence with your choice. It's a choice of reason, a choice of intellect, a choice of communication, and it's a choice that you have made clearly. In the mirror between you two, we have ecclesiastic, some sort of fanaticism that is creating fear, creating a structure of fear. There is a shared sense of imprisonment with you and this person. Perhaps both of you are a prison to the bodies you inhabit, and there seems to be a type of mutual imprisonment in which there it is again, the force majeure that was showing up earlier, the devil's energy. There is a mutual imprisonment. Both of you become shackled, okay, in this situation. Something very toxic about this, and perhaps that's why you've had to cut them out. In their end, they are the source of toxicity with Homeland, or the Homenplas, which is the man who sits still, the king who sits still, and here we have the King of Cups in the reverse. Someone who does not know how to control the candor of their emotions, someone who is not very generous when it comes to their emotions. They're manipulative in a certain way, but not only in the way of a knight or a page, but they're a grand manipulator of emotional resonance. So they may be a bit of a vampire or something like this, but there's a great deal of love still they have for you. It's just hidden, or perhaps they're lying about it, okay? On a subconscious level, here we have the Six of Pentacles, and this talks to me of you trying to find a balance and manifest the balance with them, okay? Very simple. On their end, they have here a great deal of lust that is repressed. So not only do they have lust repressed, but also emotions that are repressed for you, with le souverain, which is like an element of like sovereignty, like power and domain. This is strength, okay? But it's in the reverse. So their strength, their emotional strength, as well as their strength on a bodily level, is misplaced for you. and they seem to be very arrogant with a certain thing. Not only that, they may manipulate certain things out of you. Okay, so be careful. Here, between you two, there's inquietude. So there's an inability to stay quiet. There is something that needs to be said because of the Seven of Pentacles energy in reverse. Some sort of revisitation of something from the past. Okay, that has to do with a commitment. Okay, so there's something about this, but also this mutual imprisonment in the mirror that is showing something very warped and toxic. I don't really trust it. Be very careful with this. Okay, on a soul level, here in the mirror, we have the world in the reverse. Something from the past is trying to make its way back into the present. Like with judgment, something from the past is trying to make its way back into the present. Something that was ended, some cycle that has ended and buried. Now, the cycle is trying to move on, but both of you have the sort of foot in the door, and you're still willing to jump back into an old portal of existence with Terra here, the earth. So there's something very grounding about this soul connection, but to the point of the energy that resonates with Capricorn and the devil energy, something very grounding, and it shackles you in a certain way. It's like there's so much gravity, it's so heavy, this connection. So it's very difficult because you have been heartbroken in a certain way here, but you're getting over it, okay? You're getting over it, and it's finally like, it's good. On their end, there is Le Mensonge, which is the card of commitment. There was once a commitment here that was very terrestrial, that was very third dimensional, that exists between you two. But now it's like past, and no longer is there a feeling of family or communion with both of you, and there's a feeling of randomness with lottery here, some sort of arbitrary or random, chaotic way of expressing the soul desire between you and this person. However, they have a great deal of that soul desire to you, and they're very much tied to you. Okay, you could be dealing with Capricorn, Leo, or potentially a water sign. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. But what I'm seeing here is someone who is trying to revisit or recreate a new, uh, recreate an existing, or recreate like an old connection into an existing one, or something like this, where they want to bring it into existence again, but it should be over because of heartbreak, as well as a need to move on and to find balance somewhere else on your end. What exists between the mirror between you two is a feeling of mutual imprisonment, as well as a need to find some sort of harmony with the past, something that was left behind that needs to be revisited with the earth, with the world card here. Something needs to be revisited. But I don't know. I just don't know if it's going to happen, because there's a great deal of fighting, and there's a great deal of desperation here. Okay, so be very careful with this energy. Be very careful, because this beginning, this ace, this contentment comes at a cost of your own humanity as well as theirs. All right, that's what I see. Yeah. So please like, share, and subscribe if you will. Thank you, my dear Pisces, and I'll see you February 2020 for the three portals reading. If you like a reading, just reach out, and I'm here. Okay, bye.